Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the 7 Days Guide series. Between episodes, all I did was sleep. And I came on and I switched out a little bit of the leathers, which I will show you the result of now. Now there's a lot of things I'm going to be teaching you this video. It's hopefully going to be less dense and less daunting than the previous one because there is less to do today and we're a little bit more sedentary. But the immediate things I want to show off: one, just like I said I'd be, we're on Enderclient today, and I hope that you are too, because I'm going to be slowly drip feed teaching you a bunch of things about Enderclient as time goes on, starting this episode in a little bit. But first, our claim is done drying. Nobody messed with it. We were all safe. So we have this area where we have a little bit of protection. We still need to put up the fence on this little front part down here, and we will be doing that probably today. It just takes a lot of sticks, so it's not very hard to get, or branches, the game calls them. But you'll notice one of my Enderclient things I have on, and I'll show you where in the options you can set this on later, there's a green glow to some of these drying racks, and that means they're done drying. This is just a very easy visual indicator that they're done drying. Here we go. We're going to go put this in one of our tubs. Now, does this actually have... Yeah, that... Okay, cool. You can see the leather in there. It's very hard to see. But the leather is in there, and it's got the dark haze over the top, so this does count as tanning fluid, so that will start tanning. I also, earlier, put this in. This is just a level 1 hedgehog skin. It's not much, but it is starting to tan. It's going to take us 30 hours because I made a crucial mistake in the other episodes. Was it in here? Check this out, these squirrel tails. I thought they could be turned into leather. No, it turns out they can only be turned into hides. You can study them or you can use them as a hide for like a crafting recipe or something. I just have them here for studying. The study time is not that bad. You'll notice the study time is very specific now. 7 hours, 17 minutes, 41 seconds. That's because it's now showing us, due to my options in Enderclient, it's showing us the real study time. This is how many real life minutes, seconds, hours, and everything that it takes to study this. It also lets you know the LP mental weight ratio, how much you're studying per hour, or how much LP you're getting per hour, stuff like that, so you can make more educated decisions on what you want to study. You know, like these squirrel tails, the better quality one is 138 LP an hour, whereas this strange root, that's almost, that's 822 an hour. For the same study time, by the way, these take the same amount of time to study, which is so good. Like, I should probably just study this later. It's an easy 6,000, which would be very nice. By the way, you can see, of course, we were studying. I'm going to bump up the exploration to 20, and I think it's about time I bump unarmed up to 5. I'm going to start bringing unarmed up now. And because it's so cheap to get 5 survival, I'm going to get that so that we get the rest of our survival bonus on top of that, which brings us up to 27. I'm happy with that. I'm probably going to leave that alone for a little while. But you, Plague, if you want to dump more in survival, go for it. It's a great thing to long-term dump points into. Survival and exploration. Every character uses it. It's always useful. I always recommend foraging. Anytime you're picking most things from the wild, the thing hard capping the quality is your survival, and quality is a big deal in this game. And of course, the more exploration and perception you get, the more forageables you can find of each type, as well as the rarer forageables will start showing up for you. All right, I have a whole lot to teach you today, but I haven't eaten breakfast yet. And I need to go edit some Pokemon Challenge videos, so I'm going to be recording this over the course of the day, I'm sure, in little chunks. Give me a minute, and then I'll start teaching you some useful stuff that we're doing today. Okay, I'm back now. It's been about 8 hours, got a bunch of work done, got a bunch of food in me, and I reorganized the base a bit because, whoa, traveling through here was nightmarish. Okay, we have a list of tasks today, but it's not nearly as complicated as the exploration we were doing on the other day. This is a little bit more sedentary. We're going to be doing a lot of little, I don't know, base building around our Lame little cave here. But we do still want to go out and about and do some things. We're still going to be wanting to gather a lot of string so that we can dry more hides, because right now, this stage of the game is all about getting as many hides as you can so that you can make as much leather as you can. So any catching of small animals, you know, rabbits, squirrels, moles if you can catch them, hedgehogs, all those things you want to catch as much as you can. That is your top priority. If you're doing that right now while you're watching this, then that's awesome. But we have other things we can do around the base as well. I want to finally get that fence I keep talking about. So what I did was I cut up a whole bunch of mirkwood, and then I split the stacks, and I made all these different stockpiles here of branches. Going to build, I want to say it's buildings and constructions? Wall and fence, here we go. We're going to start the round pole fence. Get the corner started. Here we go. And the way we work for this is we have to extend it a little bit. Here we go. And then you need to prepare it for a gate. Oh, I'm standing on it, my bad. I need to extend it, so I'm going to extend it to 2 here. And then I want to prepare for I want a corner post, which costs 5. There we go. Sorry, this is, it's been a little while since I've done this. Prepare for a gate. There we go. You can pick how big the gate is, I guess, judging by, you know, how wide I can make that. I'll make it pretty wide. I don't see why not. There we go. I didn't even remember an option to make it that wide. Build gate. Oh, yeah, you know what? I have seen gates that look like that. I use those for my cattle back in the village. And we'll extend this right out to the wall. I don't think we need a corner piece at the wall, although it would look nicer. I'll do it. It looks nicer. Here we go, and then a corner piece. Oh, can I not do a corner piece next to this? Oh, no, I can, okay. I was just getting stuck on the terrain. Cool. And now we're going to build a gate. We can pick which way it opens. I don't think it matters. Oh, site is occupied because of all these. Hold on, let me move them. Thankfully, you can lift these even when they're full. I'm going to show you how to place these better in a moment, because I don't think I've shown that yet. Site is occupied, come on. Okay. There we go. And now, oh, gate between worlds. What is, I didn't even know building a gate is one of the events that can pop up. That's awesome. Also, okay, that was just the pop-up for the experience. Cool. Okay, well, we have a gate here now. So now if someone were to walk in here and they discover our little base, before they would need to turn on trespassing to walk in. Now I think they would also need to have vandalism to get in. I don't think trespassing is enough that it would allow them to use the gate. At least I think. I hope. Again, this game patches a lot. It changes a lot over the years, so I'm pretty sure that is still a safe method for keeping you a little bit more safe from very early game other players harassing you. Now, should we do a wall on the other side or a fence on the other side? Yeah, probably. If this matches up with any other system, then yes, we want to do that. I'm not really worried about someone mining their way in to get to us here. I don't think anyone's going to go through that effort for just some random dude in a cave, you know? Oh, it looks like we just finished some of our things we were studying, though. You'll notice now we have real-time timers counting down on them. That's an option in Enderclient. I'm going to be going over some of those Enderclient things today. Let's put down some of these sticks, since we don't need all those on us right now. And, what am I going to add to studying? I can study one of these again. And it looks like I'm not studying... Oh, no, I am studying a water strider. Okay, woodworm. There we go. That filled us back up. Cool. Just always make sure you're studying as much as you can, especially in early game. Okay. So we have built the fence. I can check that off of my checklist. Now, I might extend this claim a little bit because, again, we don't have much room here. But basically, we want to build a few things, or at least I want to show you how to build a few things. You don't necessarily need to build all these right now. So what we have here is a bunch of sea clay. I just dug this out of some shallow water by us because we're by the sea. You can also just get regular river clay or, the clay from lakes, which is the same as from rivers. Either one works fine. We're going to take a skill here called charcoal burning. There we go. And we can now create a tar kiln. Now, do you need to be making a tar kiln this early? No, probably not. Do I need to pave the ground for this? No, I don't. Okay. Do you need to be making a tar kiln this early? No, you probably don't need to be making a tar kiln this early. I kind of just want to show you how it works. If you... Man, not much room here. Here we go. This works. If you are... Oh, by the way, it's Control-G to turn the grid on and off. It's good for when you're placing things. There we go. Okay. Sorry, we gotta collect a whole bunch of... Oh, did I not get enough stone? I must have forgotten to get all the stone that I need. That's fine. We definitely have at least enough clay. Anyways, a tar kiln takes a few days to actually cook all of the wood you put in it. A tar kiln, the way it works is you pile it full of wood, and then you light it on fire, and it will slowly cook that wood over the course of a few days, depending on what kind of wood you use and how much. And you will get a large amount of tar at the end, which you can use for sealing a boat to get a rowboat, which is just a much better boat if you're stuck with a dugout. Also, at the end of it, you can get charcoal, which you can use as fuel for cooking or for fueling things in general. You're also going to need it later for smelting, because regular wood doesn't burn hot enough to smelt metal, but charcoal does. Again, you really don't need this at this point. I more so just want to show you what it is. But if the village you're making, or whatever your settlement is going to be called, your little hamlet or whatever, if it's going to be near this cave, within a reasonable travel distance of this cave, then yeah, maybe you will actually use some of that tar. Or if you're planning on living in the cave for a decent chunk of time, then yeah, maybe you'll have a use for this tar kiln. The other thing I want you to build is a regular kiln, which is in the same menu here. This one's much smaller. I can probably just put it over here somewhere. Cool. You can make this out of, again, any kind of clay, and this is where we can actually fire clay. Now, all of our clay is just quality 1, because, we don't have any masonry skill, and clay is just like stone. It counts as masonry material. There we go. God, how cool does that look, made out of sea clay? Now, the quality of this is atrocious, I'm sure. If I go to the Inspect button, quality 1, it says in the bottom left. So this is terrible quality. It will degrade the quality of whatever is in it. It'll be soft capped at a quality of 1, but that's okay. I'm going to put 1 sea clay just sitting in there, and that's because I'm going to turn that into a sea clay brick, which will be 1 discovery. But we can also take all of this and we can make other things with it. Most importantly, can we make a toy chariot? No, that specifically has to be the red clay. Okay, because we do have a quest for that. That's unfortunate. But you can use the clay for all kinds of little things. Do we need for a plate? Oh, you also need red clay for the Acker clay. Okay, well, we do want to make a wood plate, and we do want to make wooden cutlery, so I'm going to get those on my list, and a wooden cup. You'll notice with Ender, when we open up our crafting menu, it saves the last few things you made so you can slot between them or switch between them. Incredibly useful. Saves you so much time. Oh my god, the quality of life stuff in Enderclient is so big. What I'm going to do, though, I'm just going to put that straight there, and I am going to load this up with a bunch of branches. I probably don't need to put in way too many. I just put in like 15 maybe. I'll put in a few more. That's probably more than enough fuel. I don't remember exactly how long it takes to cook something like this. But it doesn't really matter. This is a little background process we have going. Hey, one day, maybe if you are your village's potter, or if you're a hermit and you just like doing the pottery, you can make all kinds of great large containers out of pottery very early in the game. All kinds of great curiosities can be made with pottery as well. So if you're the one in your group of friends, or if you're solo and you want to invest in masonry, too tired to drill. Oh my god, okay. I was almost done that too. Drink the water. Drink the water. There we go. Yeah, investing in masonry. There's a lot of value to that. Not just in the stoneworking, but also in the clay working. Okay, so we're gonna have this lit. So we have the tar kiln, we have the normal kiln, we have that figured out. I think it's time we get a basic food setup started. Man, we are breezing through the things to teach this day. I don't really need to show you a whole bunch of footage of me hunting, do I? I think you kind of get how to do that, but maybe I'll get a little bit for you. There we go. Doesn't it look so dangerous? You can see 1% done. You can just take things in and out of there even while it's lit. There's no danger. Okay. The next thing we want to do... Here, let me put down these spare sticks. I don't need them on me. For precision placement of things, by the way, you'll notice how normally by default, if I turn the grid in so it's easy for you to see, it always snaps to the grid. You can see the grid with Control G, by the way. Well, if you want them closer together, you hold Shift and you move, and you can do precise movement. And you can save a lot of space doing that. That's like how I wedged these in a little bit closer, and how you should be wedging in most of your storage. This is a little bit of a mess right now. I'll probably reorganize this later. By the way, you'll notice my camera is not snapping to 45-degree angles even when I'm zoomed out. That is an Enderclient thing. Let me pop that up for you. So if we go to our options menu here, we now have camera settings, and you can set it to all different things. Ortho is orthodox. It's the normal camera settings you're used to. I like ortho free. It's the exact same camera, except for it doesn't snap when you zoom out. You can also do bad, worse, and follow, which are honestly mostly for screenshot gathering, because as cool as this looks, it controls very, very badly. This is not comfortable to play, and there's no skybox, by the way. So if we walk outside, hold on, let's walk outside. This looks really cool, doesn't it? But if we walk outside right now, oh, there's no sky. Yeah, there's no sky. You were never supposed to see, but even in daylight, which it is not, it is nighttime right now, but even during the daylight, there's no skybox in this whole video game. So yeah, this is really only good for screenshots and cool looking footage, you know? Anyway, more Enderclient stuff that I can show you. In the top left, we have this extra bar here of hotkeys you can set up of your F keys. I highly recommend you use some of these, especially for things that you're going to want to use during combat, like maybe the drink button. So we're going to take our drink button. What was that under again? Adventure drink. That was it. I'm going to put that on F2. Can I clear that? Yeah. Cool. I'm going to have that on F2 from now on so that I can drink even while in combat by hitting a hotkey. That's very convenient. Okay, we have a few menus we want to go through. I don't want to go through every single Enderclient thing immediately, and a lot of them you can probably figure out on your own. But I am going to go into, what is it? General, yes. There's a few things to show you here. First of all, warning settings is new. You're going to want to turn on some of these. Warning for highlight players and warn about players. This will make sure that you hear a ding when you run into a new player that you don't know, and there's a big red ring that will glow around them, so it's very easy to spot them. I recommend that's on. It will make you very aware of any time a stranger walks into your sight, so you're immediately on high alert and assessing if there's danger or not, if this is a friendly stranger or not. I like highlight animals. I don't warn about animals, but I highlight them. What this is, any animal that can aggro just naturally with you near it will have a red ring around it, so it's easy to see. That red ring is not its sight range, I want to point out. Some can aggro from farther than that range. That ring is just there to make it easy to see. I also highlight and warn about gems so that if you're walking around, you don't miss a gem. Some people turn it on for midges as well, which are those little mosquitoes that follow after you when you're walking outside sometimes. I don't bother with that personally. I also like to enable my path queuing here, which is Alt left clicking, even on the world or mini-map will queue your movement. So you could set up a queue of movements to walk around. Incredibly nice for just for travel. Some people like item drop protection, which is you will only drop an item when you're left clicking and it's on your cursor if you're holding control. That's the opposite of what it normally does. Normally if you're holding control and you left click while holding an item, that's how you walk with it still on your cursor. Over here, this is a list of things you want to have done automatically and you can order them up and down on the list depending on what your priorities are. I really like to turn on a lot of these carving, turning, skinning, cleaning, butchering, collecting bones, stuff like that, because I do a lot of butchering. I'm usually my village's chef. So as someone who does a lot of butchering, I like to have those things auto-select when I right-click. Same with turning. This is when you go to turn a spit. I don't need to right-click the spit and then left-click the turn button. I just right-click okay, I can't turn it right now because nothing's on it. I couldn't show you the example, but if an animal were on that, I would right-click and it would auto-pick turn for me. There's little things like that. You can add more commands to be autoed if you want to this. I highly recommend you do some of this at least. Path queuing, auto-pick. Yeah, okay. I think I have, pick. Always turn on pick, by the way. It's just so that you need one less right-click when you're picking, like, forageables. You could also shift right-click. Some people really like that. Shift right-click will pick up the forageable, and if there's other forageables of the same type in a very close vicinity, you'll automatically walk and pick that up as well. You can also increase your auto-pickup radius if you want to, pick up a wider radius of those items. I don't know exactly. It says like 10, 9, 11, 13, it's probably based on like grid tiles. I'll see how 15 feels. I've never really messed with that. If we go down to UI, really you could look at everything here, and a lot of this is useful. By default, we have the pretty UI. This is what you guys are probably used to. I like small UI. You can see how it's a much cleaner edge, less wasted real estate. Now, you can always show UI on start. You can enable container window spreading as an auto thing. There's all kinds of things you could turn on. What should you turn on? Look, it's up to you, but you should take a peek at mine, see what I have turned on, and consider some of these. Show hand and belt widget is huge. In the top left of our screen, we can see what's in our hands and what belt we have equipped so that we can easily right-click our belt to open our little belt bar here. That's really useful. I like to have pouches and back widget so that you have your backpack and your right and left pouch, which is a mechanic I often forget you have in this game. You can put things on your side pouch slots like water skins made out of hides or made out of leather. I recommend you don't do it too early, but F key toolbar. This is your function key toolbar up there that you can add more things to. You can have an extra row of toolbar there if you want it. I don't need that right now, so I don't have it on. You can have your FEP meter up here so you can see how hungry you are. You also have a show drinks meter thing. This shows you how much tea and water you have grand total on you so that you aren't surprised by how low your water is. It's really good for people who have to do a lot of manual labor, like people working in the mines. Timestamps for chat messages, I like it. Instant full tool tips, some people like it. Food categories, biomes on minimap, I recommend you have that on. Show path on minimap. I actually like this. This means when you click around on the minimap, you have a green line showing you the path you're taking. Very useful. Also works on the main map, I believe. Where I shift to show stack inventory, unpack stacks on inventory list. Real-time curios, always turn it on. It shows you how long your curio takes to study in real life time instead of server hours. Display curio remaining time and tooltip. You can have that if you want. I don't bother. Quality item. I like to have item quality on, and I turn off the toggle for it in here. Otherwise, they overlap and look weird. But I like to have the Enderclient one on. Item progress as a number, I like that. Durability, wear bar, show item, armor, improved damage tooltip, I like all of that. Really, all the rest of this stuff is great. Minimum rows in list inventory. I'm going to be honest, I'm not even sure what it means by that. But by all means, experiment with this stuff. The last thing I want to show you today, although there is more stuff if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, last thing I want to show you today here is on display. Show flavor objects, a lot of people like turning this off. You need to restart to see the difference, but this means any little flowers or grass patches or whatever that aren't an actual item, is just there to look pretty, won't be there. That's useful. I have the objects on right now, but you can turn that off if you find it annoying. Simple crops. If you're a farmer, turn on simple crops. It makes it way easier to visually tell crops apart, so it's not as bushy looking. You can tell how much is in an area. If you're not a farmer, then pick whatever you think looks nicer. Making terrain flat can be nice if you're running away from people a lot. Some people like that. Dark and deep ocean tiles, I like that, because deep ocean will destroy your boats and you want to be able to see it. Display container fullness, I showed you a little bit of that earlier, but things will glow green if they're completely full, which is nice to be able to see. Highly finished objects, rather, that's the green one, my bad. The full one is, it has this, God, you can barely see it, but it has kind of a reddish glow to it. And if it has a white glow, it's completely empty. Draw paths. Now, this is one of those ones that some people probably don't like, but I really like it. Draw paths. Everywhere I click, the game will show me with this line the path my character is taking. And I can cue them by holding Alt. And my guy will now just follow that path I set. Oh, hold on, I see moths. Sorry, emergency. Emergency moths. There's a bunch of moths. Oh, I'm still on the horrible camera. I'm gonna right-click them on the map. Oh, this camera's horrible. Look at this. Look at this. This is... I hate it. I have myself and foes turned on for the visibility here. Oh no, I gotta drink that water. There we go, we grabbed it. Okay, now there's some bats near me. I want to go back. I'm just gonna hit 0 and teleport back to the fire. Sorry, those moths are great items to study in early game. Or really the whole game. They're great. I like to draw paths because when you are running away from other players trying to kill you, when you're running away from the people trying to either rob you or kill you, you want to see what path you're taking to see if it collides with a tree and if you need to fix it before you get there and lose some distance you had between you and them. And it's really important you do this because the people trying to kill you or rob you almost definitely have this turned on. And so you're going to want it turned on as well. You do not want an unfair disadvantage. Okay. I always show mine support radius as an overlay because I like to see where mine supports are so that I know where a cave-in's going to happen. Very important for if you are, mining. You can also show the object radius of things like mine supports, beehives, whatever. Good if you're working in those fields. Cupboards use default materials if you want the default look. Cupboard decals on top is just if you put like a poster on a cupboard to say what's in there, it'll show up on top instead of the side so it's easier to see. You can scale cupboards and stuff so that they're, smaller looking. And you can have clickable auras around speed buffs, rabbits, and critters to make them easier to click. Why these 3 specific things? Because when you're running away from players that are trying to rob you, running for speed buffs will get you distance between you and them. I taught you a bit about that in the series. Rabbits, if you're wearing rabbit slippers, which I recommend, then you run faster when chasing rabbits. And so, again, you're running away from an enemy, you're running away from another player, you see a rabbit, right-click that rabbit because you're now running faster than you were if you don't right-click it. And thus, you're running faster than the other guy and is getting you more distance. As long as they're not running in a bad direction, click that rabbit. And critters, because if you have, I want to say it's either a foraging or a hunter credo, probably a hunter credo, one of the abilities is you run faster after critters in general, and that also works with rabbits. So you could have all of those on to make your chances of getting away alive a little bit better. What is show as buffs? Oh, sorry, that was appearing like almost off screen as I clicked it. Tracking, criminal acts, swimming. So it tells me up there on the top left if I have those enabled or not. Yeah, I like those turned on. Okay. Okay, now that I taught you that stuff, that's not every single thing in Ender, but that's all you need to know for now. We're going to switch back to ortho free because I think this is nice. Also, you can brighten your view if you want. I don't think it looks too bright. Here's the thing. It's nighttime right now, right? It's the dead of night. If this is too dark for you on your monitor, You hear a whisper on the winds. You know what? That was a perfect timing. Sorry, if this is too dark, you can brighten it so you can see just like it's daylight in the middle of the night. We just got a whisper on the winds. So about 400 meters away in this direction. It doesn't show us exactly where this guy is. Oh, it does. It's right there. See, I could click there and it would start doing it. Oh, you can see a little bunny clickable over there. Sorry. So this guy seems to be right here. So we can go to that tree and we can get a quest from him, and that will get us LP if we do it. I have on my list to do quests, so that's really fun. Okay, I'm gonna right-click that bunny and I'm gonna try and catch him. I'm gonna start sprinting once I get close enough that he starts running. So right around here. Now he might be faster than me. He's not. Oh, I got stuck a little there. Come on, get him, get him. My stamina was almost below half, and I would have not been able to get him if it dropped much more. We got a rabbit. And as you know, we need to be wringing their necks basically constantly. Hot damn, look at how quick it is to study these cave moths. They are good. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go talk to that tree. Well, there's only shallow water between us and them. Like, this little lake bit here is all shallow because it's light blue. So I guess I could go do that right now. I'll start making my way over while I go over anything else you need to know. Let me check my notes. Okay, so we want to be collecting a bunch of stuff for cooking today. The last thing we're doing today is a whole lot of cooking. The first thing we're doing tomorrow might be... Oh, hey, look, a bird. The first thing we do tomorrow might be fighting. Might not be the first thing, but it's something that we want to do tomorrow. Why? I want to rush it a little bit because I know that some of you guys are going to be itching to do a little bit of fighting. So I want to get you ready to punch bats soon, because punching bats, as ridiculous as it sounds, is very lucrative. Oh, okay. These are cattails, and this is a perfect thing to find right now. In fact, can I spend a little LP here? Exploration's at 20? I'll leave it there. Yeah, we really want cattails, because not only can we study the heads of them as a really quick and easy thing to study, especially in early game, but the fibers you get are of great quality. These count as strings, and they are a great quality string to use for all kinds of stuff. I was shift right click, not picking up multiple there. Maybe I need to shift to left click or control right click, alt. Maybe it's alt. Oh, I'm so bad at remembering these things. Sorry. We'll see. Oh, I was just ambiently right-clicking over there, and it thinks that's my path now. You can ignore that. I'll just do that. Oh, you see that red glow? That's a boar. I'm going to switch to running. With Control R, we can click on that little clickable radius for a speed boost, and we're going to get out of here. Awesome. Oh, okay, so it's not a tree this time, it's a rock. It's always some random thing in nature. Here we go. All right, let's have a chat. Eerie feeling creeps over you as it begins to dawn on you. Personage you've been searching for is none other than an old boulder. I love that. Okay, we're going to say hi. And that gives us a quest. So they always give you a quest, or almost always give you a quest to go talk to another person. So the quests give you more quests. He wants you to visit someone and then visit a cave. Well, we know where a cave is. And then come back to this rock to tell him about our exploits. So he wants us to go up here. Well, that's not that far away. I don't know how big this lake is and how annoying it is to get around, but that's a quest that wouldn't take super long to do. And then visit a cave, we could just teleport home. That's a cave, unless they want a specific cave. And when we meet the other rock or tree or whatever he ends up being, it will also give us a quest, probably. I think they always do. So we're going to keep getting more and more and more of these quests. And I do recommend that you do them because they're good LP. If you're looking for something, you know, you're like, I've already got so many discoveries. I'm already studying a lot of stuff. What can I do to stay productive? Do those quests and hunt things while you're out. Anytime you see a squirrel or a rabbit running around or something like that, take the time to drink some water and try to catch it because you need as many leathers as you can get right now. I can't stress that enough. It's incredibly important. Other things we need, though, You see these walnuts? We need nuts. We need leaves from any trees that have leaves on them. In fact, what I'm going to do is we're going to go to our icon settings, and you can see how pretty this looks. This is the icon settings in Enderclient rather. It's so much easier to see, isn't it? And the best part, you can search. If I just type M for maple, M-A-P, there we go, map. We can turn on display. We can also turn on notify if we want like a sound effect like that. But I think I'll just have maple appear on my mini map for now. So we'll just have it on display, and I can backspace to get rid of my filter there. So I'm going to keep an eye out for maple trees. There's a lot of trees that have leaves, but maple has a lot. In fact, here we go. There's some maple trees. Let's go pick some leaves, and we'll take those home because we can make leaf wraps. And we're probably going to just do that right away. We're going to want to make a table too, because it's not hard to make a very basic table. Oh, hey, fox running by. Again, they don't attack you on sight. They will put up a fight if you attack them, though, and this early, they'll definitely win. They won't try and kill you after they knock you out, but they will knock you out, and that means concussions, and concussions take a little while to heal on their own, and you lose some skill until they come back, so yeah, don't get concussions. Not fun. Yay, little speed boost. Okay. Let's grab this log, and then we're gonna warp home. Oh, bird flying by. If I was really quick, I might have been able to grab that. Okay, so we got a bunch of leaves here. What do we want to do? I think I want to make the table first. Yeah, let's make our table and stuff first. Now, it doesn't matter where we put them. We can move them later with the lift command. So we're going to go ahead and go to tables on a rustic table. And we're going to start building that. Here we go. And I know that this log pile here is the logs that are just for like crafting. They're not Mirkwood. You can craft with Mirkwood, don't get me wrong. It's just oh, it thinks this is being reserved for the cup and stuff. It's okay, I can fix it. Just do that. There we go. We have a table now. Now we need a chair for the table if we're gonna eat at it, but what we can also do, we can make some stuff for it. I can make a wooden cup. I'm gonna make wooden cutlery and a wooden plate. These are the absolute most basic utensils you can make. And we're just gonna put them on this little top part of the table here. It doesn't matter where you put them in the top part, but I like to beautify it a little bit, you know? Okay, we have our table. Oh God, we have like no room. This place is such a mess. I'm gonna put it over here. Right there. Cool. And we're gonna make a chair now. All you need is carpentry for this, by the way, so this is really easy stuff. Chair and seating. We're gonna go with a rustic chair because it is the most basic. And we're not doing anything too fancy right now because again, we don't know if we're gonna be going far to find our village spot or not. Okay, we need 4 more pieces of wood. I'm gonna close that thing so it's not reserving what we're crafting with anymore. There we go, and we have a rustic chair. And we're gonna put that right by here. There we go. We sit down in it, and we can right-click on our table here. And there you go. We're not really facing it head-on. I think my chair is crooked a little, but it doesn't matter. We have the feast button. That's what matters. So you can see hunger modifier. We are now filled less by eating if we click the feast button and we left-click our food on the table. Why would you want to be filled less? Because the less full you are, the more stat points you get. There's no such thing as starvation in this game. So you just don't need to worry about that. Let me fill up this bucket real quick and put it back on my hand. There we go. Actually, you know what? Great time to teach you something from Ender. Go to Extended. This is new stuff that they added in the Enderclient. And automation and refill drinks. I'm going to put that on my F4 for now. What you do is you stand near like a water barrel or you stand at a water source and you hit that button and you give it a minute And over the course of a few seconds, it will very quickly take every container in your inventory and fill it with that water, probably water, whatever it is. That can be very useful when you're doing tons of labor and you're constantly needing to run over and fill up your maybe multiple water buckets that you have. Okay. Now we want to do some cooking. We want to make some decent food here. That means fish wraps, fruit roasts, and nut jerky. I'm also a fan of the mushroom burst glutton, where you stuff a body that you've pulled the organs out of with mushrooms, and you can cook that. But I don't want to waste any bodies right now, because to do that, I think you got to take the bone out for that, and I want to collect as many bones as I can right now. We're going to be making bone glue probably in tomorrow's video. So instead, I mostly want to make these different jerkies. So let's gather up a little bit of our food that we have here. Like, we got some fish meat we can use and some berries. So let's go ahead and we're going to make one fish wrap. Nothing wrong with making multiple, by the way. We're going to make one fish wrap. We're going to also make a fruit wrap here. There we go. And we'll put that in our inventory. You know what? Let me put these leaves in the stockpile, and then I'll just open that up. And I also want to make a nut jerky, which requires a little bit of fresh meat. You know what? I have this rabbit on me. I can control right-click, by the way, to go through those options faster. If there's only one option and you control right-click, it'll pick that one option. That's another Enderclient quality of life thing. Okay, we got a little bit of meat from that, so I'm going to make a nut jerky. And you know what? I'll just make a second nut jerky. Why? Because if we open our fireplace, there are... Oh, right. I forgot they added more. There used to be 4 slots sometime in the previous world, or this world, I guess, because I'm playing on world 16.0. Yeah, they made it so you can put more things on here. Now, this won't take super long to cook. I don't remember the exact cook time of the pit bake stuff, but it's not very long. But hey, if we can cook 4 more things I'm seeing here... I'm sorry, 5 more things. Not the brightest. Let me grab that. Oh, I didn't need the mushrooms on me, actually. What I need is more fruit. Do I have more berries in any of these? I don't think I do. Unless I still have some in one of these logs. Oh, apparently someone put some random stuff in here. Huh. I wonder why they did that. I wonder how old that is. That's funny. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And these foods are going to be much better than just roasting a meat instantly over the fire. You know, like I could go roast meat here under cooking, and I could roast a meat, and it just grabs a meat from my inventory and we roast it. In fact, I will, I'm going to craft all here and just do all these for the discoveries. And if you eat them while they're still hot, then they're sizzling, so it's even better. That doesn't apply to all food, though, only some. So I'm just going to cook a bunch of fish here and put it on the table. Here we go. And again, I could eat raw blueberries and whatever, but we're making better stuff now, so let's not. We'll use those as ingredients for other better things. If we open this up here, we can see we get dexterity from the regular chicken meat, which is not the most useful to us right now. Strength and perception, though, decent amount here on the sizzling roasted fillet of mullet. Look at that. We got a whole point of perception just eating that alone this early in the game. Fish, I'm telling you, man, is like a cheat code this early in the game. It is strong. We got a point of will there, which is not the most useful stat. It's mostly just for some obscure late-game crafting type stuff and a few curiosities here and there. But things like perception, very valuable because that's what's helping us see more forageables. And I'm sure you've noticed already, forageables, very important. Roasted rabbit meat, that's agility, which is a top-tier stat for us right now. We want 20 agility before we're punching bats. So anytime you get an opportunity to some agility, go for it. It's a very important combat stat. Oh man, doesn't it feel good to get some food going? Let's put away a little bit of our stuff here because we don't need quite all of this on us. You can stack these cattail fibers, by the way. It also stacks with the cattail heads. And do we have room to put any more leathers up? Yes, we do. We're going to hang every leather we get as soon as we get it. Again, we need a lot of leather before we're going to have a safe base, and so pumping out as much as possible is important. If you're finding lots of string, you should probably be making lots of drying racks so that you can dry a lot more hides per day. You'll be shocked by how quickly you'll go through these things. Okay, 2 more things to go over while we wait for our food to cook. Let's just have this open so you can see its progress. You can see how quick that is. It's only been a few minutes. We still need to gather as many hides as we can get. You already know that. You want to start gathering wild crops if you see them now, since you can throw them in storage, but don't bother planting them, and don't bother investing in farming yet. It's just, there's no real benefit to doing that right now. Again, you're not going to be in the cave that long. Oh, looks like I see some pop-ups there. Looks like we just finished some studying. Yes, we just finished a bunch of studying. Oh, throw a cave moth on that then. And we will get, what else do we have? Yeah, another wormwood, or wood, woodworm. Oh, more of the squirrel's finest hair. There we go, we maxed it out again, cool. Always want to make sure we're studying as much as we can. Oh yeah, and we'll finish that tar kiln later, but again, it's not really vital. What else? Right, another thing to look at now. Our clothing, some of it's above quality 10, some of it's below. It's about time that you start upgrading the stuff that's below quality 10. Now, if you're like right on the verge like this, 9.8, it probably doesn't matter that much. But if you have any taproot lacings that are worth less than 2, I think if it's really low quality, it might be worth less than 2. Easy for me to say, right? Although I could very well be wrong about that. Auto-drop parasites, by the way, that's another Enderclient thing you should turn on. So if like leeches and ticks get on you, you just drop them immediately. If you want to start getting higher quality nettle pants and stuff like that now, it's not a bad idea. Nettle clothing is decent for a very long time because agility is always important, and you can really easily throw just a single gilding on it and it works pretty well. So you can be wearing this nettle clothing for a pretty long time. So those are some goals for you. Gather as much hides and leathers as you can. Put together some very basic eating utensils and a chair and a table and stuff like that. And start making yourself better food. Fish a lot. Like, look at this. It took me minutes to get all these woodworms by just chopping up like 2 or 3 logs of the murk wood and then splitting all of those in my inventory, putting down the sticks, and I have all these woodworms left over that are easy to study as a cheap, quick little thing to study early in the game, and also you can use them as fishing bait. I could catch a fish for each one of these worms, and you saw how good that fish meat was. That was so low effort, and if you want, you could put the fish on the spit so that you get even more meat out of each fish, and I do believe the carved meat on the spit counts as a different food satiation as the roasted ones. So you could get more mileage out of the same types of fish that way. Just make sure that you make a lot of fishing line. You can just make it out of like decent strings and stuff. I will say though, if we go into our equipment here, and we go into hook, line, and sinker, and we go into fishing lines, bushcraft fishing line is terrible. It snaps all the time. Macabre is okay. It's made out of intestines. But if you can make shoreline fishing line, which is just made out of cattail fibers, all you need is a decent amount of exploration, and you'll start seeing it in the waters and shallow water from time to time. Those cattail fibers make a really good line. It's just great string for everything until your farming gets so good that you can make better string at home that way. Until then, though, these cattail fibers are a fisherman's best friend. You're going to want to make shoreline fishing line out of this because it snaps way less often. Carry spare spools with you before you go out. And do we already have what we need to make a pack? What's it called? A creel, I think it is. No, I don't think. Packs and sacks? I do have the stuff for a creel. Now, I don't recommend you make this yet, but this is something, if you're going to be a big fisherman, if you really enjoy fishing in this game, a creel is something you want to make later. 4 of any prepared animal hide, so they've dried, you've taken them off, but you haven't turned them into leather. 4 of any hide, and 6 string, and you can make a creel, which is a kind of backpack kind of thing that you hold, and it gives you a big extra inventory that can only hold fish and fishing equipment. And it is, it's you can't do huge scale fishing without it, really. It is wonderful. If someone in your village has a creel and they go out and they come back from a fishing trip, you know you've got a big pile of fish. And the great thing about fish, unlike dead animal bodies, fish can be stockpiled like you stockpile all these resources by just having it on your cursor. You right click and then you'll have a pile of fish you can place. So it's very easy to have someone go out and doing fishing trips and then coming home and stockpiling the fish next to the fire, and then whoever is at home as your cook can start putting those on the spit, roasting them, slicing them, putting them on the table near the campfire, and then whenever that table's nice and full, you say in your village chat or you say in your group chat, hey, table full of fish, and you watch the people come by and eat it up. And you see them get all those stats, and they thank you for the food. Guys, this is why I like being the village cook. It's very rewarding cooking for the village and helping everyone get their stats up and everything. That's the magic of a lot of things in Haven, though. A lot of the magic of Haven is enjoying it with your friends and the satisfaction of, hey, I'm the tailor of the village. I just made you a good set of gear, and they appreciate it. And hey, I'm the cook of the village, and I just made them a really good set of food that gets them those stats that they were specifically looking for their job, you know? The miner needs a bunch of strength, so you make them a bunch of beer and cheese and sausage and stuff, and you get that job done. Yeah, I love this game. And as a hermit, it's real satisfying being able to build up in a really safe, large-scale way, even as just one person chipping away at it slowly over a long time. I've been a hermit in many worlds before, and that is really fun, but my personal favorite way to play is with my community in my village. It's always a fun time, man. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go get some more stone. By the way, another little Enderclient thing here. If you click on this sort button? No, extra layer info. You can see a breakdown of everything we have here. It says the quality, or at least the average quality. And like we have 4 blueberries, we have 2 moths, we have 7 cinnabar. Could be really useful when you're looking for a certain amount of something and you don't want to do the math in your head and break down, oh, I have like 20 units of 3 cinnabar or whatever. Also, if you don't mind things getting reordered a little, you can sort things in your inventory, which can be useful. I like to sort things in containers a lot. You can also set to like auto drop certain things or drop things quicker if you want to. You can right click and, you know, don't drop filtered items if you want things to never drop. If you want like a safety precaution from accidentally dropping things, these are all things you can do. All right, here we go. We've got enough stone now. Let's finish off this tar kiln. Here we go. We have ourselves our first kiln. Let's just put away the extra stone. And what do we want to do? What do we want to do? We want to pile it up, I guess just with this. This will do. We don't need a whole lot of wood. Normally you'd want to put your best quality wood and usually boards, not blocks, because you can probably get better quality boards. If you have a good saw, that is. But we're just going to pile this in because this is really just teaching you how this works. So let's go ahead and grab 2 sticks. Now, I think the amount of time it takes to cook the wood does not depend on, hold on, drink some water, does not depend on how much wood you put in. It might have to do with what kind of wood. I know some woods are worth a lot more tar. Namely, I believe it's pine has the most tar by a large margin, actually. Usually you want to keep a barrel near your tar kiln so that you can pick the tar out of it often, or as often as you need to, because that little container down there doesn't necessarily hold enough for all of the tar you're making. So this will take a few days to run. We may even move out before it's done. Must be at least half filled up to fill it. Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't fill it enough. Alright. I'll get some more in there. Okay, here we go. Now it's lighting. There we go. And you can see we already have some tar coming out. How much water is in our water barrel right now? Pretty good amount. We're going to dump the rest back in. There we go. And we're going to actually drink and then empty our bucket here. Empty it. Why? So that we can get the discovery of picking up some tar. Oh. We can't do it yet. Although we can see it pouring in. Not enough has poured in. Okay. Maybe we'll leave that for a tomorrow thing to do. That's okay. Not a big deal. We'll just do our new F4 key. There we go. And it filled our water back up. Beautiful. Okay, is there anything left? Let's take a look at this. Oh, a bunch of our food is almost ready, 99%. What else is going? How's our leather production? Okay, this one's 31% of the way to leather. It's a cowhide there. This one, 35%, yeah. It's that one little hedgehog hide. I can fit more in there, but you know. By the way, no matter what leather or whatever hide you put in the tub, it just becomes leather. So this will be 4 pieces of leather because it's 4 slots. But if you do have a big hide like that, like we have a spare one over here, I want to show you something. We have got this big horse hide, but let's say you want to make something out of the hide, not out of the leather. But it's not specifically a horse hide thing. It's something that takes any hide. Well, if the recipe takes, I don't know, 4 hide, you don't want to waste this because it only takes up 1 hide. So you want to right click it and split it. Now it is 4 patches of hide, and those would all count as their own individual piece of hide. Now, of course, if I just wanted to turn that into leather, I could just dump that all in. In fact, I don't know why I didn't think to do this sooner. If I just put all of those can't be put in? Apparently patches cannot be put in. Damn. Guess we just found that out live, but that's fine. Oh, no, come on. Let me put that there. Regardless, if you had just a crafting thing here that just took up individual pieces of hide of any kind, that patchwork thing that you can do with any large hide, that might come in handy for you. Or you could just use smaller stuff, squirrel hide maybe. But the larger animals tend to be of a higher quality. So, you know, that's generally a better idea long-term later in the game. Okay, man, I think I've kind of taught you everything I need to teach you now, at least for this episode. So I'm going to grab some of our new delicious cooked food. Oh, that was a quest finished there too. Sweet. And we're going to put all this on the table and take a look at this food we just made. So, our nut jerky here. It takes on some of the properties, I believe, of the nuts you use, the veggies you use, the meat you use, stuff like that. But you can see this was made with chicken. We got charisma, strength, will. It's mostly strength, so that's the thing you're most likely going to get out of it. But you could get charisma or you could get will. Is that on all of these nut jerkies? Yes, I believe it is. Sweet. For the fish here. Yeah, for the fish, we have different levels of perception, intelligence, will, and agility. You already know that perception and intelligence are some of the absolute best early game stats. So these fish wraps are very valuable to you. You always want to be loaded up on fish wraps. Did you see that? If we go to system menu, we got 2 perception and a will. That was pretty sweet. Fruit roast is intelligence, constitution, will, and perception. The highest chance is intellect, but it's fairly even with the other things. If we eat one there, we got an intellect. Ate another one, got a perception. Charisma, dex, strength, and dex again. Would you look at that? Now it takes us 20 food event points to get to the next level if we were eating just one specific type of food. And that's because we have 20 intelligence. I think I call it intellect half the time. My bad. Sorry, it's kind of interchangeable. Not totally interchangeable, but kind of interchangeable. But that was some good food, and you can see fish wraps, it's only at 13%. We got 16% for nut jerky, 9% for fruit roast. You could definitely eat way more of these, get this up, and then when you're pretty satiated on those, you're not getting as much anymore, maybe roast some fish, or you could spit roast some fish, spit roast an animal, roast an animal. Start making combinations. And as you satisfy things you haven't had in a while, or haven't had before, your satiations on other things will go back down. You know, as I'm eating these things, I'm becoming less satiated on spit roast horse, which you saw the other episode. I ate a whole lot of spit roast horse. So you'll start getting more out of those other things. And that's why a large variety of food is just a good decision. I think that's basically everything I want to teach you this episode. Just remember that on top of everything I taught you, hunt. Hunt lots. You really, really need those hides. You really, really need those leathers. I know you're seeing me here with three little drying racks and 2 little tubs, and that seems like a lot for one person. It's not. You're gonna want maybe 5 tubs, maybe 8 of these drying racks. You could even do more, and I really wouldn't blame you. You probably want to progress a little bit faster. I have a little bit of time as I'm in the dying days of an old world that is basically abandoned at this point, making you these tutorials. I'm a hermit from an old world. Not totally a hermit. I've been a hermit before in many old worlds, and I'm here to try and teach you how to be a little bit safer when you start playing Haven and Hearth. Now, if you want to tune in for the next episode, which will already be up by the time you're watching this, I'm going to make sure these are all done before they start airing, you will probably have your first batch of leather, which is very exciting. We're going to make just a little bit with it, but we're going to save the rest for our wall. We're going to do a whole lot of hunting. You're going to start your first credo, which is very exciting. And we're going to be making a cauldron and a rope walk. So there's a whole lot of fun stuff to do in tomorrow's video. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.